Hey, welcome back. Here I am again with another little talking head video. This one's going to be just a little bit of a follow-up to my selectors video that I just posted a few days ago or maybe a week ago. But before I get started, I'd like to give you guys my little disclaimer, as I always do, that I am not a spokesperson and I do not represent SimVimX or Real Sim Control. I am just a user just like everybody else, and this is just my way of understanding the the plugin and the website, and I'm just trying to do my best to see if I can help out other people understand it as well. Um, and specifically for what I'm going to talk about today, which was that I had to manually edit the config file. They really don't like us to be messing around with a config file manually, because it is very sensitive to the spacing and the formatting and everything. And if you put something in the wrong place or the wrong formatting, it might not even work anymore. So that's why I think it's very important not to mess with it. But like I said before, what else am I going to do when the website is not working and I'm trying to get something to work? That's the only thing I can do, is go in manually and fix it. um, but I kind of do know what I'm doing. I understand the layout. I kind of know what everything means in the configuration file. So if you feel capable yourself too and you have to get something done, I guess, why not do it? And like I said before, I really hope that they don't convert the data configuration file into an encrypted file, because then we won't be able to see anything in it. It'll just be a blob of letters and looks like hieroglyphics or something. So I hope it stays in the current plain text format so we can still troubleshoot and figure out problems. But as many of you may have noticed, and I tried to explain it in text, because I didn't discover it until later after I recorded the video, that we had a little problem where when I was switching COM2, NAV1, and NAV2, it was also switching the standby frequency for COM1. And when I noticed it as I was editing the video, I came to the realization that I kind of saw that we didn't have, on my configuration file, I know I showed it to you guys, but I didn't catch it, that right here it didn't have the S1:0 in the two positions for the rotary encoders, and that is the one that tells it to tune COM1 megahertz and kilohertz. So in my way of thinking and what I could see is, basically, since there's no selector mentioned for this particular two parameters, the plugin just takes it as use that encoder to tune COM1. It doesn't really care that you're also using it for these other three positions. It just thinks I have to tune COM1 all the time with these encoders. So that's what it was. So I went back afterwards and I tried to save it again. I tried typing in the 0, because if we go to the configuration here, I believe, let me open up the file here. Okay, so if we go right here to where I have the encoders, basically I have them on pin 11 and pin 13 for the megahertz and the kilohertz. So what I tried to do is I went back in here and I made sure that I typed in the 0 right here, and then I went back and did the other one as well for the kilohertz and make sure that I typed in a 0 there, and I tried to save it and it didn't work. So then I tried it again using Chrome, which is a browser that I always use, and it didn't work. And then I tried it again with Firefox and it didn't work. The S1:0 was still not there. So what I did later, one of my viewers, he actually wrote me an email. He told me that he tried it by going into the configurator here, and when the one that was giving us problems, which was the first one, he said that he just switched it over to selector 2, and then he switched it right back to selector 1 and then saved it, and it worked for him. So I was going to try that myself too, but then I realized that that day that I was going to try that, it worked without even doing that. So maybe, I don't know if it was just a fluke in the website that day when I was actually doing it or what, I don't know. But the whole bottom line is that when I went back to try to reproduce the problem, it did put the S1:0 in there. So go figure. So anyways, oh, I wanted to mention something to you guys too before I go any further. So if we go to my overhead view right here, you can see what I did with the displays right here. So what I did is I basically went out and bought a roll of window tint, because I don't like the way the displays look like this. Even when they're lit up, you can see all the rest of the white stuff there. So what I did is I said, I give myself some 5% tint. This is actually the second to the darkest one I believe there is. And basically just put them on there. I haven't glued them on to these right here. They just basically are clinging with static, but that's what makes them look so nice like that. And I've been wanting to find a way to do that, and I finally went out and said, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy a roll of that damn thing, even though I don't need that much, but it looks a lot nicer that way. And sometimes even if you lower the brightness too much, then you really can't even see the digits that you're trying to see, because you could see all this other white stuff like that. Now going back to the website here, I do remember that when I was talking about it and we were doing the ComNav radios, I did mention a little bit that they had this little combination function thing here, so you can select COM1 or COM2 and all that for one radio, and then nav1 and nav2 for the other radio here, so you can use one set of radios to do both functions. But that's working a different way. I think is they do a lot of magic behind the scenes. So if you actually go to the combo radio right here, this is actually a more suitable one, kind of mimicking what I did here with this demonstration, but they have a lot of magic going on behind the scenes, because it's almost like if you're using selectors, but you're actually doing, you're using one button each to go to a different radio. And I guess that would select which frequencies, it displays right here, whether it's COM1, NAV1, ADF, or even transponder. And then it does the same for the encoders, depending on what you select, it tells you, it programs everything behind the scenes to make it do whatever you want it to do. And then you can also have a display to show you the actual radio that you're on. So kind of the way I did it when I put the little N1, N2, and C1, C2 right here for the NAV1, NAV2, and COM1, COM2, so you could see which one you were on. That's kind of what they're doing over here with this. But I haven't tried it yet. I haven't built one of these to see how it would work. But either way, it was still good that I did the selectors video, because the person that specifically asked me about that, it's going to still be useful to them. And you can use this for anything. It doesn't have to be just for a radio. You can use selectors for anything that you want to assign multiple parameters to a single button or switch or encoder or display or anything, pretty much. So I'm still glad I did it. Okay, so now we're going to go over to our simulator here, and I'm just going to show you real quick, that basically now that the configuration file is fixed, now if we go to, let's see, we're on COM1 right there. Let me get these things out of the way here. And now if we tune COM1, you can see that the standby is tuning, and then I'll go to COM2, and now you see that COM1 is not tuning, only COM2. And the same thing if we go to NAV1, and the same thing for NAV2. So that was the problem, pretty much, because there was no S1 equals or :0. That was the whole problem. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. Just a quick follow-up, like I said, to clear up some things that happened during that selectors video that I try to explain in text, but it's not as easy to explain what I found and what's going on as it is to talk about it and show it. So hopefully, like I asked you guys before, pretty much I already did all the videos I wanted to make. I am going to make another one on custom conversions, because once again it changed, like it always does, and obviously the way that it used to be done before is no longer applicable. So I'm going to try to do one of those. But if you guys have any other questions or doubts or anything, and that other videos that you would like me to put out, please let me know, either by putting it in a comment down below, or you can even send me an email just at cosmokid, like my channel, at gmail.com, and then that'll give me more ideas of what to record. Alright, so thank you very much again, and we'll see you on the next one.